What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for continuing to support this channel over the year that I've been MIA. I am very excited to start back up again. Just really figuring out how I want to take this channel and which directions I want to go. Right now, I'm currently situated at our new HQ, which is in Calgary, Alberta, which is all the way across the country of Canada, where our original location is, and all of the footage has been shot. So I know for a fact that with this channel, I'm going to be sharing a lot of this facility. I'll give you guys a tour of this place, kind of where Anastasia stands, Union Martial Arts stands at this point in time. But it just has been a lot of getting settled in. So once again, I appreciate everything that you guys do for this channel, all the comments you do. Let's get this channel to 100K this year. I'm recharged, refocused, ready to take on that next challenge. And I hope you guys can stay with me and continue training, whether it is the weaponry side of Filipino martial arts, whether it's the striking side, which is a huge component to Union martial arts, and everything else in between. So with that being said, guys, what I want to share with you is Empty Hand Mastery. This was supposed to be a paid tutorial on AnastasiaKali.com, but I'm going to give it to you guys for free just because it's my little thank you for staying with me, staying subscribed, and being a true martial arts enthusiast. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This will definitely benefit you guys if you have done the empty hand entry system, which is available on both our online academy at premium access or above. So enjoy the video, guys, and stay tuned for the next upload. Second phase of empty hand mastery is learning how to apply those 9 entries to the left side. So if you guys have learned those 9 entries, you would have noticed that they all came from the cross, or the right hand being in the rear. So we have 2 main reasons why we want to be able to apply it on the left side. The first reason is because if he is in a conventional stance, it's very likely that he's going to be able to throw a jab or throw a lead hand check, something with the front, not the rear. So I want to be able to adapt my techniques to that particular situation as well. And the second reason is if he was southpaw, which means that his right foot would be in front, his left hand would be behind, that cross is now coming from the left, so I want to make sure that I can do it on that side as well. I don't get to choose who my opponent is. I can only choose how I'm going to be able to adapt my technique to whatever posture, stance, or fighting style they have. And so what we want to do is we want to understand the difference between the two. The similarity before we look at that is everything is just mirroring to the other side. So I don't have to create a new technique to apply to a lead hand or to a southpaw fighter. I just have to change my angles. If I was on the outside and that was my left, outside is now on the right, and so on and so forth. So situation number 1, my partner is in the conventional stance here. So his lead hand is this jab. And so first thing that we need to look at is, of course, the property of the jab. It's not a cross. It's not coming heavier, and it's not going to cover as much distance. It's not even going to be as visible if he has a very good trained jab that he can hide his elbow in his frame. What I do know is that when this jab or lead hand comes towards me, it's light, it's fast, it's going to be there, and then it's going to be back to him as soon as possible. Okay? It's not going to linger around. So when I try to do an entry, whether it's 1 through 9, I can't expect to do my flow and get right to a takedown from the initial contact. The most I'll probably be able to do is match his energy and just parry at the speed of his jab. Okay, so if he throws a jab, parry, right? Throws a jab, parry, right? If we want to stick towards the curriculum, we can use that elbow frame if possible. We turn, okay? Best case scenario is I can angle myself slightly to the outside when I do so. Okay, so when I do this, I'm trying to set up because I know that he's going to throw a cross after that. And so I want that cross to come over this line here so that when I apply the entry to the rear hand, obtaining the angle that I need, such as the outside angle, becomes a lot more easy. Okay? If I can't, at least I can defend that and still stay in good position if he throws the cross after that, if he throws another jab, if he changes his technique. Right, so we're going to slowly go through all of the 9 entries to the lead hand in the situation that it is a jab or a lead hook. So when we look at number 1, this is single parry. Number 2, it's double parry or parry with the break. Number 3 is vertical gunting. Number 4 is horizontal gunting. To the lead hook now, this is impact gunting for 5. This is inside shield for 6. Off a straight jab, this is outside shield for 7. Lead hook, once again, this is inside shield or transition shield. We'd find our way out. Okay? And then a straight jab here, 9 is split. Okay? So again, if we look at that from another angle, We go from the jab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, of course, learning how to apply it to the lead hand ultimately sets us up to be able to apply it to the rear hand as well. So we kind of use this as like a 0.5. We don't treat it as a true step to the entry because all the bread and butter is going to happen on the side that I want it to happen on. Okay? So if he was in his left lead, in this instance, we're going to mix a few things together. So what's going to happen is I'm going to do entry 1 to his jab, and I'm going to do entry 6 to his hook from the rear hand. Okay? Now, as much as possible, I want to help influence that. I'm not just going to hope he throws a hook. So again, when I throw that jab, I'm almost going to angle out and I'm going to almost scoop his hand. I want to open this line more so he's more likely to twist his body and rotate, and it's going to feel more like a hook as opposed to more like a cross. And hopefully that's enough to tip the scale to make him actually do the hook that I'm intending for. So he throws a jab, I come in with a shield. I'm going to follow through with the inside shield or entry 6 flow. That's an overhook to a base break. And instead of finishing off with a traditional seatbelt throw, which is how entry 6 would end, I'm going to interchange and I'm going to wrap from over to under into the traditional Kali flow or frame, and that would be to the knee, and I walk the base or I do a full circle throw. Okay, so once again from the other side, what we're looking to do is use entry 1 to influence the entry 6 here, so that inside line becomes a lot easier for us to obtain. Right away we flow into the entry 6 flow here. Once I break that base, I'm going to scoop my hand out, around. I'm going to frame right away as I get that underhook, apply my weight into his neck, up with the knee, down with the base walk, or the full circle throw. Okay, so just one time and a little bit of a faster flow here. It goes 1, 6, break that down, catch it, and break the base. So sequence number 2, we're going to be working off the same striking pattern. This time I'm going to apply an entry 3 to the lead hand and then an entry 5 to the rear hand. And I'm going to finish it with setting up a seatbelt throw, which is traditionally done at the end of entry number 6. So when we look at that lead hand, I'm going vertical gunting. I'm already going slightly off to the side, so I don't need to worry about opening that jab up to cause the hook to come. If it ended up being a straight, I would adapt. So one thing you want to make sure is that in demonstration, what I'm showing you right now, I'm predetermining how I can put it together. But when I always apply, I make sure that I do whatever comes to me. And if that means I'm doing the same thing over and over again, so be it. The 9 entries are supposed to serve as variety, not as a mandatory means to switch up what you're doing. Okay? So I go vertical gunting here. He's going to come out with the hook. I'm going to come entry 5, impact gunting. Coming in with the framing elbow. Okay, so I'm going to elbow with a point into his deltoid. And instead of framing against his neck, I'm just going to continue to go over his arm. I'm going to bring this arm across his shoulders. And I'm going to step in for the seatbelt throw takedown. Okay, so when we look at that from the other side, slowly I go vertical. My hand's already in this position, so this impact gunting happens very easily. Okay, so what I'm not doing is I'm not going to go entry 3, pull it back, and then do my entry 5. I'm almost flowing into it in like a half entry 5. So I go vertical, hit, frame, step over, break the base, and then we pull down for the sweep. So our last sequence here, we're going to work off jab cross. I'm going to do entry 1 to the lead hand, nice and simple, and then I'm going to finish with entry 9. I'm going to show you the significance of what we do with entry 9 once again. But I'm going to parry, and I'm going to go split. So this time, I'm going to physically move my body by slipping my head to the left. In order to get it offline, I pop that right hand inside here as I slightly parry his arm. That would be an eye jab. Okay? So when I continue with entry 9, what I would like to do is I would like to eventually bridge to his left hand. And that's something we're going to look at in the third video of the empty hand mastery. But right now we're going 1, 9, crash. I'm going to rotate around, I'm going to hammer fist towards his head, and I want to connect that with his left hand. So I want him to see it, I want him to feel the threat, and so he's going to bring this hand because his right hand is trapped. That creates the left hand connection. I can pull that back, and then I shoot down, and here I am once again on the left side doing the Kali flow. Okay? So when we look at that from the other side, let's talk about the importance of what we're trying to do. Let's say the flavor of the day is I want to work on that left hand. I feel more comfortable doing my techniques to a left-handed punch. Okay, but my opponent is right-handed. Now, odds are it's the other way around, where I'm more comfortable on a right-handed person, but then this person is left-handed. But this is just to show you what we can do. Entry 9's purpose is not only to create a split entry and allow you to use variables of all the different pieces of the empty hand system, but it's also so that I could bridge to the opposite hand. But I'm getting this on my time, not on his jab's time. Because if I wanted to do that off of the jab here, all of this again is much too difficult to do. His cross would have hit me by the time I came in there. So I'm going to temporarily go to the right hand to get back to the left hand at the time that I want, and now I have the position and the angle to finish the actual entry. Okay, so when we do that a little faster, it would look like this. 1-9, crash down, attach here, pull back, shoot down, and here we are.